Welcome to another Feel Good Friday. I'm Dee James, and on the phone line with me is Lorraine Purcell. Today, Lorraine and I are just doing our program by phone, but we're still going to be uplifting our listeners, uplifting you, and just giving you a great tip to help you shake off the week and get into the weekend with just a different perspective, a better perspective. Lorraine, I'm so glad you're joining me. How are you today?
Oh, I'm just great, Dee. I'm so glad to be here with you and with our listeners.
You are an international best-selling author, a life empowerment coach with a counseling master's degree, and for 2 decades, Lorraine, you've helped people live the happy life that they deserve, and you're coaching people across the U.S., Canada, and now even Europe. And, you know, a lot of times you do that by phone, and so this is nothing new for you.
Well, the tip that I have for you today, I'm really excited about this one. When we're feeling like what we are desiring isn't coming to us and we get a little discouraged, here is the perfect thing to do. And that is to talk to yourself like you are your future self a year from now. And whenever I do this, and in fact, it's fresh on my mind because I actually did it last night, and it was so enlightening. Your future self knows what's coming up. And so if you step yourself back a year now in the future and look back at where you are now, what would you say to yourself? So if you were to be a year ahead and look at yourself right now, what would you say to yourself? And it would always be, look, I got closer. I'm closer to my goal. I'm closer to my achievement. I have the love that I want in my life. I have the business that I want. I am more successful than I am now. All of those steps that I'm taking right now have had the incubation of time and energy, and now they are in fruition. And so if we can look like that and not be so discouraged and impatient in the moment, it's very powerful.
It's kind of like, is that kind of like, in a way, journaling? I like to write in my journal, and then I go back like a year, back to the previous year, and see what I wrote a year ago, and then that helps me see how far I've come.
Yes, it's very much like that, Dee. And it's just a way to propel us out of feeling like, oh, we're losers, by going, okay, let's look at our future self a year from now, or even 5 years from now. When you go to yourself in 5 years, you see yourself with all of the things that you're desiring now. So it's very powerful, and it also helps to give us hope, which is paramount to keeping us on track.
It sure is. Is this something new that you've discovered? Because I've really never heard you speak of it before, Lorraine.
Well, it's something that I've used for a long time with my clients. I may not have spoken about it before, but it's I do have a visualization and a meditation around it, where we go into the future 1 year, and then 5 years, and then 10 years, and then see what that future self has to say to us. And it's always something, like God would say, which is, see, you're right on track. You just keep going. Don't give up. Look where you are now.
Self-encouragement, that's important too, right, Lorraine?
Oh, yes. Yes, nobody else is going to do it for us. We've got to do it ourselves. Yes, we must believe in ourselves like a horse race, not to place or to show, but to win. We have to believe. We have to believe. And sometimes when we're in the moment, it's hard to believe, but I encourage you to do that anyway. Just stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Because if we don't believe in ourselves, nobody else will. We emanate an aura when we believe in ourselves that attracts situations and people to us for its accomplishment. And our desires are given to us because we know exactly how to do it, and we have all of the capability to do it. And that is oftentimes by seeking and meditating and seeking God and asking for direction. But nonetheless, if we have the desire, we have the goods to pull it off. Maybe not in this red hot minute, but if we keep going in faith, yes, we do.
Sometimes it just takes one step. You take the first step, and then the next, and the next, and the next. And you do have to, as you say, be a little bit more patient with yourself sometimes and just take it one
Yeah.
step at a time. Such good
And
encouragement, Lorraine.
I just have one other little tip on that. I just heard this week that when we put a desire out to universe and it doesn't come back to us right away, it's because it's already happening, but it takes time in this time-space reality for things to come to fruition. People have to move, people have to change their minds, physical things have to move, contracts have to be made, things have to shift on the physical plane, and so it doesn't always come to us. Now, you mentioned about your opportunity that you just came across on our last show, and that's, maybe from the first time you wanted to do it a year ago, things were circulating and things were moving and momentum was happening, and so when you got the thrust, the nudge to go for it again, okay, everything was in place then, and it takes time.
It does. Everything, all the pieces of the puzzle just have to line up perfectly sometimes.
And that takes time.
Yes, it does. Lorraine Purcell, thank you so much for another great tip on this Feel Good Friday. Anything else you'd want our listeners to know today?
Just when you're feeling low, like your desires are not coming about, talk to your future self a year from now, 5 years from now, and see what they would say to you. It might sound strange, but don't worry about it. Just do it. It's so powerful because this future self of you knows exactly where you are now and exactly where, because time is a continuum, exactly where they're going to be in the future. And there you are with your desires manifesting.
Lorraine Purcell, don't forget about her free ebook, www.3keystoselflove.com, and just go to that website, and that'll get you plugged in and get you connected with Lorraine. Thank you so much, Lorraine Purcell. I'm Dee James. Join us again next time for another Feel Good Friday.